Here's an Object 430 game on Swamps. Apologies for the very loud whirring in the background. I have my window open and 2 fans on. It's still quite hot in here. Trying to prevent either my computer or myself from catching fire. So, matches on Swamps. I do my usual thing and head to the opposite side's donut. Recording frame rate's a little low, probably because my PC is so hot, but we'll see how we go with this. So I'm platooned up with 2 other tier 10 mediums, Kang Dang's T62A and Viet Campo's M60. So the idea is to get to that sort of donut-shaped hill at G7 before the enemy can get shots into us. Batchat spots us along the way. I take the low ground to avoid getting hit. He doesn't seem to be paying too much attention, just trying to play peek and poke or something, so I snap off a shot and RNG carries it. We get into cover and start setting up. I go to the corner and decide to see how tough this thing's armor actually is. See if I can try and spot some of the enemy tanks there. Viet Campo comes up to join me. Since he has better gun depression, I let him take the corner and head towards the middle of the map. Two enemy tanks, E5 and a Batchat are in the trench, pushing on one of our tanks. Meanwhile, I see a target opportunity crossing the middle, and I take it. This guy stupidly stops in the open in front of a tier 10 medium, and then, get this, he backs up in front of my gun to give me even more time to shoot at him. He's lucky that shot missed, although it didn't do him much good in the end. Bad shot on my part there. So our team's fairly well distributed. We have pretty good control of the map so far. So I'm essentially just dicking around in the middle, engaging tanks at my leisure, seeing what I can do here. Trying to see if this guy will come back out and give me another shot, but he's pretty determined not to. Probably realised his mistake after I got 2 shots into him for a good chunk of his health. I was looking for some shots on the M48 there, but I just couldn't get them. It's behind a rock. He's definitely a much more important target, much juicier than a 4502A who doesn't know what he's doing, so I reposition to try and find shots on him instead. He spots me, I spot him, and I have shots. Unfortunately, my first one is very badly aimed, should have zoomed in, and it bounces. However, my second isn't. And I just pin him, and then I get another shot in. This guy seems to be panicking. He's struggling against the terrain there. He seems to have backed himself into a corner. So, although he disappears, I sort of hang around because I'd like to kill him. Been pushing up to see what I can do now that that 4502 is down. Looks like the swamp is safe, the pattern's hiding, and the other tanks that have vision on it are dead, so I go to help out with this E100. My first shot misses rather badly, but my second finds home. Patton is once again behind cover, well behind cover. I've got no hope of hitting him here. My team seem to have the enemy contained in this bottom southwest corner of the map, so I decide to push up through the swamp and try and get some flank shots in. The things I would do for a replay system that actually runs smoothly without me having to constantly pause and unpause it. So I come up here, I find the enemy Lorraine Artie trying to run away, make a quick snapshot which connects. use auto aim to keep my gun on him as I'm maneuvering my hull around. Second shot tags him and he is dead. Now I try and just shimmy a bit to get away from the thing that's in front, the Panther 2. Seemingly not with the big gun because he's not doing much damage to me compared to what he should be doing anyway. I let my platoon mates know where he is and that he's looking at me, that he's probably not fully upgraded, and I start edging back up to try and see if I can find him or one of his friends. As you can see, we've won the north. It's under our control completely now, and our mediums are holding the, and our M103 are holding the north ridge of South Swamp, and we have a heavy still alive somehow in the trench. It's got the enemy team quite bottled up. The Panther 2 gets lit. He also spots me when I fire and gets another shot into me, but I figure I can take it and continue dumping shots in his general direction, just try and get some damage in. Then I back off. You can see me turning my sight a lot here. I do it a lot in my Soviet mediums. It's because I'm actually trying to use the terrain to screen the side of my tank. When I can find the right spots to do it, my side armor is actually protected. It's not exposed, even though it may appear to be, because there's terrain in the way. I do it to a lesser extent with my Centurion. If I do it in my Cent, it's usually to find a better position for my hull down or to avoid getting artillery, but it works quite well in Soviet mediums. So you can see me here being frustrated by this Bat Chat's constant rocking back and forth. I don't know why puppies do this, but my Hail Mary shot there manages to connect. That one doesn't. It was a very poorly aimed shot. I think I auto-aimed that and it went under his gun. One of the many hazards of using that feature. So he dies. I decide to push around and collapse in on these guys, although I didn't do it in a very smart fashion. Auto-aiming the T-32 just to keep my gun on him while I drive. It hits the gun mantlet. He then rams me. Managed to get another hit into him, but I'm down a lot of hit points by now. The T-32 isn't much of a threat, but the T-57 behind me is. Sure enough, he manages to track me in the open, and before I can really get into cover, the second shot lands on me. Now here comes something special. I will spectate from my tank's view. I'm not sure what even happened there. The River got team killed somehow, and then Viet Campo got team killed by the retarded ST-1, who was trying to get a kill shot on the T-57 and didn't bother aiming. Puppies. Fucking puppies. They very nearly could have thrown this game. Kang Dang was still up though, and our Bat Chat, despite being bad, somehow managed to get a number of kills. But if this T-57 player wasn't a complete shitter, he may have been able to pull off a carry considering the hit points most of our tanks have. 2 team kills in that space of time is just not something you want. It's terrible, terrible play by my team. So it was a decent game. I got some pretty good damage in. I can't remember if I got spotting in or not. You'll be able to see it in the post games. Sort of a standard swamps game for my Soviet mediums. I just try and be a bit opportunistic and play in the swamp when I get the opportunity. Try and use the terrain and the bushes to screen myself as much as possible. The more attentive of you may have noticed when that T-57 sort of locked onto me, I was making a mad dive for that crater in front. Those things will actually screen the object 430 all the way up to its turret. He would not have been able to hit me unless he drove all the way up the hill into his own base. Unfortunately, I didn't make it, but still a good game. Even though I did die, my very flawed mantra is if you don't die, you aren't playing hard enough. So, not a bad match, I don't think, for this tank.